I've had so many great experiences with all of my teachers at Orleans that it's really hard for me to pick just one, but I'm going to dedicate this video to Mr. Poole. He's always been more than just a teacher to me, but really a mentor, and someone who is willing to talk to me during class, after class, anytime about any issue. And I really appreciate that at a small school like Orleans, I'm able to form these kind of relationships with my teachers that are personal, and I know that they care about me as a person. And I think that's just one of the things that makes Orleans an awesome place and a really great place to grow up.
I loved having Shannon as a teacher because not only was she a fun PE and health teacher, but she was also like a best friend and always had the best advice. Love and miss you, Shannon.
I appreciated Mrs. Ralston. She was like a second mom to me, and I could literally come to her for anything personal or school related, and she would help me through them. And I just can't thank her enough because I wouldn't be where I am today or the person I am without her.
I appreciate having Miss Whalen as a teacher because she is awesome and she doesn't mind helping people with their problems. So thank you, Miss Whalen, for being an awesome teacher and an awesome person.
I like having my teacher this year because she is nice and she is caring.
One of my favorite teachers would be Mr. Thayer because he's just that great. You know, there's nobody cooler than Mr. Thayer. And then there's Mr. Zellner. He had some pretty big shoes to fill last year, and I think he done a pretty good job. So, Mr. Zellner, Mr. Thayer, you're two of my favorites. You guys, I hope you're with Orleans for a long time, and you guys just keep on doing what you're doing.
Okay, so obviously it would be hard to just pick one teacher who's had a large impact on my life. All of my teachers have had some sort of positive impact on my life, so it's hard to narrow it down to just one. However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to talk about Mrs. Ralston and the impact she had on me. I had Mrs. Ralston a lot in high school. For example, in my senior year, I was in her speech and drama class, I was in her yearbook class, I was in the intern program she was in charge of, and then of course I had her for junior English and freshman English. And in all of the classes that I had where I was in her room, she was always a force for positivity and encouragement for all of her students, and she pushed people to do their best and to be their best. And you could tell that she really cared about all the students and she wanted the best for them. And that had a large impact on me, and I know it had a large impact on my classmates as well. It's partly because of her that I am, considering being a high school teacher, a high school English teacher at that. So I guess I just want to say thank you to Mrs. Ralston and to all the other teachers at OHS who have had such a big impact on my life. You're appreciated for all that you do and have done and will continue to do in the future. Thank you.
This is my third try trying to make this video, and I'm over it now, but I wanted to say thank you to all of the teachers that I've had, and especially thank you to Miss Whalen and Mr. Thayer. This last year, they really made a difference on me. But then again, all the teachers have had their part, and I appreciate everything that they've done for me. And that's all. Have a good day, guys.
Hi, this is Catherine Carlisle from the dark of my dorm. First, I'd like to thank Ms. Guthrie for taking her time to help me before and after during class, so I could succeed in her class. And I'd also like to thank Ms. Sanders for helping me whenever I needed it, letting me come to a room. I'd like to thank Mr. Stroud for, making his class enjoyable and for helping me whenever I needed it, and generally just being a good teacher. Thank you.
One of my favorite teachers last year was Miss Carrie Whalen. She made everybody feel at home, and she tried to connect with each one of her students on a personal level. So if you're watching this, rock on.
I appreciate Mrs. Ralston because she is such a supportive and helpful teacher. She is somebody that I can really trust and I can go for anything. Thank you, Mrs. Ralston, for all you do.
I appreciate having Mr. Thomas as a teacher here at Orleans because he has been somebody that I can always go to and talk about any problems I have had in my life.
I'd like to thank Jared Gilbert, not for just being a good mentor, someone that I can look up to, a trustworthy adult, but someone that is a good teacher too. Not that I can remember everything from your class, but over the last few years it's been great getting to know you. I can tell that you enjoy your job, you put everything into it, and into your other jobs as well, as in the basketball coach. I appreciate everything that you've done for me and for the Orleans school system.
I appreciate having Mr. Zellner and Miss Skiff and Amy Banks as a teacher because they give great advice and they help you when you're in need. Thank you for being a great influence because you're great. And thank you for being a great teacher in all you do.
The one teacher that I'm mainly appreciated of is Mr. Carson for always helping me out when I needed help the most, and when I had a question, he was always there to answer right on. I just want to thank him for always pushing me to be an FFA and doing FFA stuff. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be an FFA and I wouldn't have been so involved with all my other schools and everything. So thank you, Mr. Carson. I hope your school year is going great, and
first one is Mrs. Lowe. I appreciated having you as a teacher because your class was always fun yet educating, and you were always ready to listen to all of our issues that we had with school or in our personal lives. I'd also like to say that I really appreciate Miss Guthrie. Your classes for the past 3 years have really prepared me for college because I have a professor that not only writes her own homework assignments and her own tests, but she also wrote the textbook that we're using. So thank you for preparing me for that. Last, I'd like to say thank you to Mrs. Sanders. You've become more of a friend than a teacher the past 2 years, and without your help in my math class and real life situations, I honestly don't think I would have graduated high school, or would I have enrolled in a higher level math class for college. So thank you for being you and for always having a listening ear.
Let me tell you about Carrie Whalen. Actually, there's a lot to unpack there. In short, Carrie Whalen is one of the craziest, loudest, weirdest person I ever met. But she is also one of the most supportive, most kind, most caring, most generous, most insightful people I've ever met. I started my senior year, and a week later, Carrie Whalen started at the school. So whereas all of us students were accommodated with the new classes and people and teachers and whatnot, she had no idea who anyone was, and she jumped right in head first and is now someone I consider one of the most amazing teachers at Orleans Junior Senior High School. And I was truly lucky to have Carrie Whalen my senior year. We made so many jokes. I've made so many great memories in that class, and she's someone who has taught me a lot of life skills that I've used every day since I graduated, and that I continue to use here at college. But don't tell her that, because I don't want her to think I actually enjoyed her classes or anything, so let's just keep that between you and me. Anyway, go Bulldogs. I miss everybody back home. Y'all have a great day. Peace out.
I want to say a special thank you to 2 teachers, one of them being Pam Smith for teaching me so much how to prepare for college, and another one being Aaron Poole for helping me grow in my faith toward Jesus.
I love having my teacher this year because she is loyal, caring, and kind, and loving.
I appreciated having Mr. Thayer as a teacher because he is very funny. Thank you for always brightening up my day and making it 10 times better.
So when asked to do this video, it took me a long time because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to say or who I wanted to say it to, because I couldn't just pick 1 or 2 teachers, because all of you have had some sort of impact, not just on me, but on the entire student body. And I would just like to personally thank each and every one of you for everything. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to name off a bunch of teachers that have truly impacted me in my life. I have a lot, and there's some that I haven't even listed. It's crazy the amount of love and support that I've been given from every single one of you. So without further ado, Mrs. Lantis, Mrs. Noble, Mrs. Johns, Mrs. Kidwell, Mrs. Lamb, Mrs. Godfrey, Mrs. Sanders, Mrs. Bradley, Mrs. Isom, Mr. Stroud, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Ralston, Mr. Zellner, Mr. Ellis, Mrs. Ingram, Kay Hull, Dr. Morgan, and Mrs. Edwards. Thank you. And lastly, Mrs. Rosenbaum. I know you won't be able to see this video, but I just hope you knew just how much you meant, not just to me, but to all of your students. Thank you for the laughs and the life lessons and the memories. I will cherish them forever, and I will miss you always. Thank you.